It's always a thing. I think we might be live. Let's see. They're barely hearing my music. It's so sad. Worked so hard on that music. Didn't want to turn it up too loud actually because Kaylee hates it. Kaylee hates it. So I think we're live. Can somebody in chat
Okay.
say, hey, you hear us? Oh, Cauldron Hill can hear. Can we all hear Brie? Let's let Brie talk.
Yeah, can guys hear me?
Oh, hi. Okay, good. Sounds like everything is working out. Brie, you have some fans in the Sudzer community. It is amazing because when I posted that this was happening, I got so many DMs. They're like, oh my God, I love Brie. I saw her on Emily's live,
Yeah.
which is,
I
yeah, it's really cool. I actually saw you on that one too. And I'm like, wow, look at you. You're so fancy.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, it was good. So, Sudzers, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. We're here. We're here. We make the soapy things. It's a scuffed intro because it's not about me today. It's about Brie. And we are here with boss attorney Brie, and she is a trademark and intellectual property attorney, and she's going to be talking us through things like, copyright and patents and trademarks and all the things, and answering your sudsy questions. So, first up, thank you, Brie, so much for being here. This is amazing, and I'm really glad that we were finally able to coordinate schedules. And can you maybe introduce yourself to the peoples so they know who you are and your background story to actually starting your law firm, because that was really cool.
Okay, yeah. So, thank you for having me. Of course, I know our schedules have been all over the place. Well, at least mine has, and I'm like, you keep forgetting about things. But yes, I go by Boss Attorney Bree on the internet. My name is Brianna Phillips. I'm a licensed California attorney, and I do practice trademark law, but I also do a little bit of family law. But on YouTube's, we talk about a lot of the intellectual property on my social medias as well. So um, just a little bit of background about my law firm. I ended up starting it because I didn't like the law firm that I was working for. I was doing personal injury. I did intellectual property during law school and I really liked it. I really liked trademarks. So I decided to quit my job after only 1 year of being licensed and start my own law firm, which I ended up growing through social media apps like Clubhouse and Instagram, TikTok a little bit, and now we are on YouTube, and that channel is steady growing as well. I do a little bit more commentary on that channel now, but I still do have some pretty good informational videos for business owners and for people looking to actually protect their brand. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, no, thank you for that introduction for sure. It's actually been really fun. I found you, I think, during the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, and it's been fun watching you grow ever since. And when I checked out your playlist before reaching out to you, wealth of information, like so good with the trademark stuff and the LLC and how to file it yourself, when to hire an attorney, all of the things. And so I definitely knew I wanted to bring you on for that. And just your story in general is very, very inspiring because you're a young attorney and kind of during the COVID time, you're like, hey, I'm going to do it myself. And just watching you build your practice is super awesome.
Yes, thank you. It's been a journey. It's still a journey. It's going to keep being a journey. I can't wait till it's all together because right now we're winging it. Not winging it all the way, but just running a business and also being a lawyer. Those are two completely different fields.
Yeah.
So just trying to figure out how to do it. You can tell people how to do it, but it just business and lawyer is hard to do all at once for yourself. But helping
Yeah.
small business owners, or it's a little bit easier for me to help small business owners.
Yeah, well, that's good because that's what the, majority of the Sudsers, are. We are all a group of small businesses, makers, all of the things that while we're really good at our craft, we make the soapy things and the cosmetic things, and other people aren't even soap makers. They just like to watch the channel, but also make things. We don't know a whole lot about the law. And we've been doing a lot of deep dives into, just as far as, well, we've been doing trademark and patent stuff as well as copyrights on the channel, as well as, just looking at cosmetic labeling and stuff. So The Sudzers are pretty good with being interested in the finer points of the law. So they've definitely been excited to have you on. And I wanted to just kind of run through some kind of generalized questions with you that I get from the Sudsers a lot that probably would be better for an expert to answer. And so, one of the first things that I hear a lot on the forums and also from Sudsers is this idea that an LLC, by nature of filing your LLC, your business license, you have built in protections for your brand. And would you care to talk about that?
Yeah, so your LLC, it doesn't necessarily protect your brand. Now, once you file your LLC in your state, no one else can use that name for an LLC in your state, but someone in a different state can then use that name as long as they're not registering their LLC in the same state that you're registered in. If you are looking to actually protect your brand name, not just your LLC name, then you are going to want to get a federally registered trademark. You can get a state trademark, but again, that will only protect you in the state that you have filed it in. So it's better to get federal because you're protected in all 50 states. And I know with small businesses, a lot of them are making their own products and then shipping them across the country. So it makes more sense for soap makers or people that create different crafts for them to definitely have the federal trademark because you're most likely going to be dealing with people across state lines. And if your business gets super popular, you don't want someone else to come and kind of ride your coattail and say, hey, I'm going to use that name because people already know it. So yes, your LLC is good to protect your business. It's more used to protect your personal assets from your business assets, but it's not a good thing to actually protect your brand name.
Got it. That totally makes sense for sure. And I think that's a really big misconception with a lot of people. They think that, well, I filed the LLC, so nobody can take my name. I mean, technically speaking, any state that I'm not licensed in, if I don't have a trademark for soap and clay, they can do it, even though I've been in business for over a decade using this,
Right.
which is really scary. Now,
Right.
are there built-in protections for that because I've been using the name for so long, as an
Yeah,
example?
so yeah, so there's what's called a common law trademark, and it basically in the United States, as soon as you start using a name for your business in connection with your goods or your services, then you are technically the trademark holder of that name. The only issue is it's a little bit harder to prove than if you have your trademark actually registered because if someone does copy your name, it's already online. So technically, they're put on constructive notice that you are protected under that name, and they should not be building a business under that name. Common law, it's just a little, it's there, but it's definitely harder to prove. And if you have to sue someone, you're going to get less money out of it, to tell you the truth, because it's going to be hard to prove that they knew you existed when they took the name.
Right, that definitely makes sense. So that would be something sort of like similar to like a poor man's copyright or a poor man's
Yeah.
trademark. Yeah.
Hmm.
But the best thing to do is always just to protect your assets as soon as you can. When is that soon as you can in your mind? If somebody just barely like came up with the idea of I'm going to start a soap business, do they go file their trademark right away or do they wait to see if they're still into it after a year?
Yeah, so usually talking to a bunch of trademark lawyers, they're going to say file it right away, file it before you even put it up on Instagram. And I do agree with that. However, I do understand how expensive it can be to trademark. If you're hiring an attorney, it's not as expensive if you do it on your own. The issue you run into if you're doing it on your own is that you might not do the proper research, or you might not file it correctly, or you might not have the full protection that you're actually looking for. But if you just need something put out there, and you can't afford an attorney, I would say at least file one on your own just to kind of get it on the register. And then as you progress and you grow bigger, then you can go back to an attorney and have them add the things that maybe you missed so that you're fully protected. But so generally speaking, when you're starting a business and your name is unique, that's the first part. Your name has to be unique. Then you want to trademark it really before you ever even put it out into the public. if you don't have those type of resources, at least within the first year that you start your business.
Yep, fair enough. That totally makes sense. That is something that I think a lot of people get really apprehensive about. And I think one of the, instead of filing the proper federal when they first start out, is they'll file like a state
Hmm.
trademark, which is a little
Hmm.
bit cheaper. So it protects you within your own state, right? But not
Hmm.
within the federal as well. Now, question coming up in chat, which is actually a really good one tying into this. What about if someone overseas has the same name as you and you do have a federal trademark?
Yeah, so that's really, oh, and let me go back to the state trademark first. So, following a state trademark is basically like having a common law trademark. It really doesn't provide you with that much protection once someone starts using it out of your state. As far as people overseas, they can use your name if you don't have a trademark in their country. So, trademarks are by basically the country that you're in. So if you're in the United States, you're selling things throughout the United States, then you need a US federal trademark. If you then cross over to the UK, then you're going to need to get a trademark there. If you're going to start selling things in China, you're going to need to get a trademark there. So even the companies coming in from China, they will file what's called foreign trademark registrations here in the US if they already have a trademark existing where they are. Same thing if you're in the US and you want to expand out to China, you will file a trademark there. Now, I think China is a little bit different because they're more on a first to file basis, and then you're the owner of the trademark. So if they see your name here, they like it, they go file it in China, now they're blocking you. While the US is more first to use it, then you have the protection. So even if you don't file it, it's a lot harder to fight if someone files it before you. But technically, you're supposed to be the owner of the mark once you start using it. I don't. Did I answer your question?
You super did. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good to know about China too. That's kind of brutal. It's really scary.
Hmm.
But that also explains why, a company like Lush, for example, big Lush, big company, has trademarks in every single country that they actually operate in. So that totally makes sense for sure. Actually, since we're talking about trademarks so much, I think maybe we might need to dial it back a little bit and give a just a basics, the difference between a copyright, a trademark, and a patent because they're different.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So, we'll start with trademark since we've been talking about that. Your trademark is to protect your brand identity. So, whatever you're using to distinguish yourself from another brand, then that's your trademark. So, that could be your name, Soap and Clay, or it could be a logo if you have a little funny soapy little soap bar. I'm thinking like a bubbly soap bar. Whatever it is that you're making and people recognize that to be you, like Nike checkmark, you know a Nike check mark when you see it, right? But you also know the name when you see it, right? And you also know just do it when you see it. You know that's Nike. So you can trademark your name, your slogan, your logo. You can also trademark things like color, product design, all kinds of things really you can trademark. So that's your brand identity. Then going on to copyright, that's protection of things that you're putting into a tangible medium. So if you have a website for your business and you've created just this wonderful website, you don't want people to copy it, you would get a copyright for it. If you're a musician, you make a cool song, you write the lyrics and the music part of it, you want to get a trademark for the whole, I'm not a trademark, sorry, a copyright to protect your, what they call it original works in a tangible medium. So you created it and you put it into a form where other people can access it. So that can be a PDF, a CD, online. Uh, what else can you do? Painting, sculptures, things like that. That's considered a tangible medium, and many more databases, things like that. Patent, on the other hand, is to actually protect any inventions that you make. So if you were the first person to make the iPhone, there was a little bit of litigation about whether Samsung was infringing on the patent of Apple because of the way that they were styling their icons with like the rounded corners and things like that. If you are creating some type of let's say you a robot, right? You can create a robot. You would want to get a patent for that. So all intellectual property still, but they each have their own thing that they're for. So if you're a soap maker, you get a trademark for your name. If you need a copyright, you're most likely looking at your website and things like that. And if you need a patent, it's most likely because you built some type of machine that makes it easier for you to make the soap. So those are just some examples of how you can use those three pieces of intellectual property.
Yeah, that's very cool information. Thank you. That's when we were doing the patent, the first of the Lush deep dives, we started talking about their patents, and they have specific recipe formulations
Mm-hmm.
patented for things that are new in form, right? Like as soap makers, we can't just go and like drop a patent for like a bar of soap that contains olive oil, coconut oil, and palm in equal parts because people have been doing that forever. But for like Lush, from my understanding, they were like one of the first to make a solid bubble bath or a bath bomb is what they tried to claim at one point as well. And even doing that, like like patenting their recipes, I saw that they are in a lot of just ongoing litigation and have been for like 25 years because people come out of the woodwork and they're like, well, I've been making it first. Here's my thing. So patents seem really complicated and probably not something that small business soap makers would ever mess with. But I can see a lot of instances where trademarks and copyrights we definitely should be looking into.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm not a patent lawyer. You need a completely different license in order to deal with patents. And in my legal writing class, I had a patent attorney for a teacher, and I was like, never in my life am I going to cover patents because they're hard. They're very hard. To the way you have to describe things, they're very complicated. But the more common things for small businesses, like you said, it's going to be your trademark and your copyright, because you're going to use those things more often. You're going to make a website so people can find you. You're going to make a name so people know who you are and they want to buy things from you specifically because they know it's a good quality. So definitely are going to come across more of the trademark and copyright for small businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's something that we definitely need to keep in mind when we are doing all of these things as small businesses because your copyrights, I guess a lot of things could technically be subject to a copyright, but as someone asks in the chat, copywriting for ebooks, yes, that would be one of the things
Yes.
that you would
Hmm.
definitely copyright, I believe. And also for just trademarks in general, it's not just your logo, it's not just the way your logo looks or your brand name, it's slogans. You were just mentioning Nike and Just Do It. It's the things
Hmm.
that actually tie the people to your brand. They associate you when they hear that, correct?
Right, exactly. Anything really is almost anything you use to distinguish yourself from someone else's brand. Taco Bell has the little ding sound that they use on their commercials, trademarked. You have Adidas with the three stripes. They sue people all the time for putting three stripes on their products because they're like, no, that's Adidas, only Adidas. I think they're suing. Who are they suing right now for? I think Shein might be on the line against Adidas. I know I covered it on my channel, but Adidas is suing some fast fashion brand right as we speak because of the three lines. I think it's Fashion Nova, actually. It might be Fashion Nova. But just little things like that distinguish you or people know it comes from you. You can pretty much trademark not everything, but a lot of things that relates to your brand.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a really important information. I think that people kind of forget. I think we tend to borrow a lot from each other in the making world. And it becomes this very interesting thing where people start to think that we're all in this weird collective hive together,
Hmm.
right? And so we're just kind of borrowing from this or from that and drawing inspiration. And inspiration is fine, that's one thing. But when you start using somebody's direct, slogans like things like just do it or even the ding from Taco Bell or anything Disney related because they have
Hmm.
trademarks for everything actually. It's wild. Now, for every single piece of for every single thing. I'm going to say thing because I say things a lot that you trademark. So
Mhm.
you have your slogo. You have your logo. You have your brand name. You have slogans. That's a separate trademark filing for every single one.
That's a separate trademark filing for each thing that you file and in each class that you file in. So let's say you're making soap, but you also make t-shirts to kind of promote your brand, and people can buy the t-shirts from you. You would need to file your trademark in the t-shirt, or not the t-shirt, but the apparel class, and then you will also need to file it in the cosmetic class for soap. So if they're all like related items, they tend to fall into the same class. So if you're selling soap, you're selling face wash, body wash, maybe shampoo and conditioner, all of those will fall into cosmetics. So you will only need one trademark for that. But if you also have a special logo that you use in addition to your name, and then let's say you also have a slogan that you use in addition to your name, you'll be filing 3 trademarks in the same class. So you'll have 3 trademarks altogether. Now, once you start crossing over into different classes, then it's going to double or whatever, however many classes you have. You're going to have a lot of trademarks. I look up people's trademarks all the time on my channel when I'm doing commentary. And I believe Kim Kardashian has like 40, no, I can't even think of which one it is, but it's like 40 pages of 50 trademarks on the page, and she has like 40 pages of trademarks. So Nike is going to be in the same situation. They probably have thousands of trademark because they have it for shoes. They have it for what else do they sell
They have their
specifically?
apparel and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, if I looked up Nike right now, just off of the owner name, they're gonna have pages and pages of trademarks because they trademark it for everything. They're doing things we don't even think about. They have the duffel bags. That's different than having it for the t-shirts and things like that. So just depending on what they're doing, they're gonna get trademarks for each of those things.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because I was listening to one of your playlists at some point, and you had mentioned that there was different, you had to file in different classes, and you gave the
Mhm,
example of a t-shirt versus sweatshirt versus pants, right?
mhm,
And so I find that very, like, really complex and pretty time consuming, if I'm being honest. If I were to file a trademark for, my slogan, one of my slogans, right? Like all the soapy things, right? Or for sudsers, because everybody's called sudsers, for my business. And then I decide to make merch. So you got t-shirts and then sweatshirts and then pants, all different classes.
no, not
No.
exactly.
Okay.
So the clothing, you can generally put clothing within one class.
Cool.
So t-shirts, sweatshirts, pants, leggings, really whatever type of clothing are going to fall into that one class. Now, you might get out of that class. Let's say you make the apparel, you actually make the clothing, and you sell the fabric as well on the side. Like if someone wants to buy your fabric so they can make your own, then you're looking at 2 different classes for that. But as long as it's apparel, it's most likely gonna fall into that apparel class. Now, when you get into your community, as far as like entertainment, you're on YouTube, right? Let's say you want to protect the sudsers for an online community, then you're in a different class. But let's say you also want to call a line of your soap sudsers, then you have 2 classes. Cosmetics, and then you also have the entertainment community one. Let's say you then want to create an online website for particularly for the sudsers, then you might be looking at another class. So it really just depends, and you can do the research online to see what class you will fall into. But as long as it's in the same class, then it's that one price for the actual trademark.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Yeah, that's actually it's kind of a lot. Yeah, I guess the moral of that story would be you'd have to really be certain what it is you want to trademark. You can't just go off and willy-nilly trademark everything because it's kind of a process, right? It's pretty long, it's pretty drawn out. There's like several month wait period, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, we're on about 10 months before we hear anything back from an examiner. So it's partly because a lot of people are filing trademarks because a lot of people started businesses in quarantine during 2020. So we're way backed up. At first, it was 6 months. No, not even 6 months. You can get a response back in 3 months, 4 months. Now we're at about 10 months for them to even say, we like this or we don't like this, you know?
That's wild. That is such a long time. And I mean, think about everything that you could just forget about in that time period.
Hmm.
I don't know that I would be able to file the paperwork and even remember that I had done so 10 months
Yeah.
later. You know,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
definitely a lot. Now, I have a Holly in the chat asking if we have to file separate paperwork for each class, or do they just charge you for each class?
Both.
Separate, right.
So yeah, both. So if you put in an application and it turns out that you use more than one class, then you're going to see that on the payment page. They're going to charge you for that. Or you can file them all separately, which is usually what I do as an attorney, because sometimes your trademark might be rejected for one class because it conflicts with someone else's trademark, but another trademark that you filed or another class doesn't have any conflicting trademarks against it. And then if that happens and you want the one that's not being stopped to go through, you then have to pay an additional fee to separate the applications and move it forward. Versus if you just filed them separately, you would have just paid the lower price for both of them rather than have an additional fee 10 months down the line.
Well, that does make sense. That's a lot. It's a lot for sure. Uh, and actually, since we're talking about this trademark ownership and infringement and what I would like to talk about potential infringement because I think there are a number of people within the soap making community that might not even think to look up a specific trademark before they start messing with it. I think a prime example of that would be, well, I guess Disney, but also Harry Potter, right?
Hmm.
The J.K. Rowling and WB, Warner Brothers, has certain very specific things trademarked in the Harry Potter universe, but obviously not all of them. And some of the things that they have trademarked, people have taken and turned into soap form. And they don't realize that it's a thing, right? They don't realize that they've done anything wrong by doing it, but all of a sudden they've made a sorting hat and now they're in trouble because specifically sorting hat is trademarked. What happens to those people at that point? Straight to jail? Just straight to jail.
No, so trademark is like it's civil, so you're not going to jail about it. But usually what companies will do is send you a cease and desist letter and give you an opportunity to stop selling the things and stop making the things. Now, if you just ignore them and you're just like, whatever, I'm gonna keep making these hats because they're selling out, then they're going to sue you in federal court. And most small business owners cannot afford to go to federal court to fight it, even if they're not wrong. You don't even have enough money to go against people that make Harry Potter. You don't have enough money to go through against Disney for sure, or not you in particular, but I'm just saying small businesses, we don't have enough money to go against them, even if we don't feel like we're wrong, right? So first they'll send you a cease and desist letter. They might send you multiple cease and desist letter. That helps them win even more because now you're on actual notice and you're continuing to do it willfully. So then they can get more money if you continue it. And most of the time, when they send you a cease and desist letter, they're not even asking for any money. They just want you to stop. And then a lot of times they give you a short period of time to sell out of whatever you have. And then if you don't sell out, you have to destroy the rest of it. So no straight to jail, cease and desist letters, and then maybe filing to go to court.
Okay, that's good to know. They're not required though to file a cease and desist. It's better for them if they do, but they're
Mhm.
not required.
Yeah, it's not, they don't have to do it. It works out in their favor if they do it. But it's not a requirement that they do send you a cease and desist letter.
Sure. And in this day and age, things like DMCA takedowns and like actually hitting your website to remove the product immediately can happen. That's just something that they
Hmm.
could do. Just go through the middleman and just go straight to your web provider, which is weird. I would prefer a cease and desist, I mean, personally.
Yeah.
But they can technically do that. Just file a DMCA
Hmm.
against you, correct?
Yes, because that's not necessarily a lawsuit either. So
Right.
that technically is a form of a cease and desist letter.
Right.
They're just allowing the platform to make the decision that it's infringing for them instead of you being able to fight it and say, "Hey, no, I'm not." You just take it down.
Right. Now, I'm getting a ton of questions in the chat right now about where to go to look up trademarks, existing trademarks, to see that you aren't infringing and all of the jazz. And it's something US PT. Can you talk about that for us?
Yeah, you're gonna go on uspto.gov. It's United States Patent and Trademark Office.gov. And you basically, there's like a little section at the top that says trademarks. You just click on search trademarks, go to basic word trademark search, and you can literally just type in whatever name that you're looking for. That's where it gets tricky as well. Be in the research that your attorney would do, they will figure these things out for you because just typing the name into the website, it doesn't like pick up different spellings of it, which might also be conflicting with yours as well. So you can do a quick search that way, but I always recommend that you get in touch with an attorney to help you do a comprehensive search. But I understand a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't have the money, I'm just going to do it myself. So yes, you can search it on yourself, even if you don't have an attorney.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good tool for everybody to have if you're trying to make inspired by type products, just to cover your own bases and make sure that you are not infringing on a trademark at all. If you're going to be making a Harry Potter inspired thing, make sure that you're not naming it weird, like direct, and it's got to be different. I know from the artistic side or whatever that you can get away with a lot of like artistic license in like homage type stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but it can't be a dead on dupe, and it definitely can't have the same name. And so those sorts of things, yeah, going to the USPTO is a good resource. Em and Kaylee, thank you for linking that. And I have earlier in the chat, somebody was saying it's about $750 per application per trademark. That seems a little bit high for the filing of a trademark if you're doing it yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, so general, I can't even remember the price of I believe it's 275 for the trademark application where you just kind of plug and play. And then the other one, I believe is 375 for the one like if you're creating something new, like you've created some new slime that they don't have a description for in the trademark uh, identification manual yet, then you would need to do that more expensive application. But each application is 275 per application.
275 per application, and then you are waiting for 10 months, and you have to remember to do the thing and and
Mm-hmm.
and pay attention to it, because after that process, you said it's 10 months before like an auditor even looks at it,
Yep.
and then they can
Before.
review it and deny it or ask you for edits. What's the process at that point?
Yes. So they can either reject the application, which is normally called an office action, and you will basically have 6 months to respond to it. Once you respond to it, they can issue you another office action if they don't like your response. And then you'll have 6 more months to respond to it until they get to the final office action, and that will be your last 6 months to respond to it. The other way that they might do it is if there's just a small correction that needs to be made, they can do what's called an examiner's amendment. And usually you get that the examiner would just call you on the phone or send you an email and say, hey, you need to do this. Are you in agreement with it? And you can be like, yes. And then they push your trademark through. Now, once you get past that phase of them actually approving your trademark, they then publish it to what's called the official gazette for the public to review your trademark, and it's on there for 30 days. And then if no one objects to it, then your trademark will be registered about 3 months after that. So I would say after that 10-month, approximately 10-month waiting period, it could be shorter, it could be longer, then you're looking at an additional 2 to 3 more months before you actually hit registration, as long as no one objects to you.
Wow, it's a process. That's a lot. Yep.
Yeah.
That is not something that I would ever be able to keep up with, along with everything else, for sure. It's a lot. So, is there any other way that you can protect your brand without registering, other than just relying on, common law or poor man's copyright or trademark? Is there anything else that you can do without federally registering?
Not to be as protected as the trademark, because that's in the whatever it might be in the Constitution. I'm pretty sure that's the document this country uses, right?
Let's go with that.
Um, yeah, so the reason why the trademark office and the copyright office, the patent office exists is because they give people that creative right to be protected by the government. If you're just going to want to be protected by yourself, you hire an insurance company, but it's not really going to help you as far as a lawsuit goes. You can prove a lot easier that they are violating your rights if you do register your trademark. If you don't, you may end up in some of the situations that we're seeing with the Rare Beauty Selena Gomez issue, where a lady is saying she was using the name way before Selena Gomez came along. And really, they started using it a couple of months apart. So now we're going to have to see, okay, who should have priority over a couple of months apart versus someone that filed their trademark on time. Same thing. There's another one going on with Kim Kardashian and Skin. Uh, Same situation. She said she was using it. The smaller creator said she was using it first, and Kim Kardashian copied her. But Kim Kardashian has the money to take you to the lawyer, to the lawsuit, right? So we'll see who wins on that. But it's either file the trademark or
Go to court.
lose it to someone that may have more money than you.
Right. Yep. And that's definitely problematic for sure. I seem to remember Taylor Swift has been doing that over the years too, either in hot water with smaller creators or actively trying to trademark and or copyright certain things to keep. I'm sorry, my whole life is Taylor Swift, so it's all I ever know. But yeah, so that's very good information to definitely, if there's something that you're super in love with, that is you. First and foremost, I think if it's your brand identity, trademark it. Like
Hmm.
that's your thing. You should do that. But if it's something that you're very, very attached to and you really want to make sure that nobody else gets to use it again, file the paperwork, do the thing, I think. But
Yeah, I always say that, especially when people say, "Oh, poor man's copyright, I'll just mail it to myself." I'm like, "Well, what's the point of doing that? The copyright costs $65. We can save $10 for 6 months and get your copyright done,
right.
rather than trying to find some envelope that you mailed to yourself 20 years ago."
Right. And where are you going to find that? And also for like the rest of it, I would really like to see studies as to how often a poor man's trademark or copyright has ever held up in court, you know? Because as far as I, am aware and familiar, if you don't have this federally registered, a judge can only do so much. And
They can.
you using it for a period of time has some weight, but does it have enough? Do you trust the judicial system enough to rely on just that? These are
Right.
questions.
These are questions that need answer. And it may be a little better now because everything is so much online and have date stamps and things like that. But 20 years ago, we're just relying on your word that you started this 10 years ago with no documentation, no anything to really prove that you were actually putting it out there to the public. So there's a little bit more proof now, but it's always stronger just to have your trademark registered. And that way there's no question about it.
I agree. I think that's a good idea and a good thing. And my sudsers are going to now go to uspto.gov and look up all of my stuff and see that I'm not trademarked for anything. And so I thought it could be fun actually to hire you to trademark my obviously brand and logo and my sayings and those sorts of things and go through that process because like I said I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. It's a lot to do. I understand that people can do it on their own, but I don't remember what I did a month ago. So expecting me to remember that I filed something very specific 10 months ago, it's not going to happen. So I would like to hire you to do all the things and hopefully can I talk to the sudsers about my experience with all of it?
Yeah, that's completely fine. We can do that, do the research, get your trademarks filed, and if you want to talk about your journey on YouTube or wherever else, I don't really mind.
Yeah, because I feel like that's the big benefit of actually hiring an attorney versus doing it yourself is you keep up with the research and the auditor coming back and saying, fix this and
Mhm.
all of that as part of the thing, right? So we don't have to, which sounds like a lot.
Right, exactly. Or they send you an email and they're like, this is going to happen. You're like, what the heck does that
What does
mean?
this mean? What is this legal
Right.
jargon?
Right, exactly. So yeah, I keep track of all of those things.
That's a good question, actually, Holly, coming up and all that too. Actually, we have, do you have to re-up a trademark or a copyright?
Yes, copyright, no. You are protected with copyright for the life of the creator, so it would be you, and 70 years after you pass away, which may change because we know Disney's copyrights are coming up, and that's generally when the copyright length changes. So, copyright is their lifetime plus 70 years. Trademark, on the other hand, you have to give them an update 5 years after registration. And then after that, it's every 10 years after registration. You have to keep up, file the fee, let them know you're still using it. If you stop using it, you lose the trademark. If you don't file your update, then you lose the federal trademark. So you have to keep up with those things as well.
That's actually really good information. I'm digging that whole copyright thing though. Like 70 years after I die, that's amazing. I'm gonna write a million books. I'll live forever. So I have another question from Holly. What would someone expect to pay to have a lawyer file for a trademark or copyright? And I know, just first before you answer this, I want to go ahead and say again to the chat in case I haven't said it enough. Brie has amazing playlists on her YouTube channel that she does actually talk about every single question you guys have asked so far. So I know this because I just heard this particular video earlier this afternoon, but I'm going to let Brie answer it.
Yes. Okay, no problem. So it really just depends on who you hire. Some trademark attorneys are a lot more expensive, some are on the lower end, and then as things happen, then the price goes up. But generally, when you're looking to hire an attorney to file your trademark, you're looking at about $1,500 and up per trademark. But when you are hiring an attorney, you want to know what comes with that. And most of the time, when an attorney is charging about $1,500 and up per trademark, then you're going to get a comprehensive research done. You're going to have the attorney preparing, letting you know what they need from you in order to get your trademark filed, making sure that you're putting everything on your application that you intend to use, making sure you're filling out the application correctly, first of all, filing that trademark for you, being your liaison between the examining attorney and you to make sure that they're not, messing up your trademark application. And then some attorneys will include the office action prices in it. Other attorneys will not include the office action prices in it. So depending on if they do, their price, of course, is probably going to be higher. But you might get a lower price. And then if you get an office action, then you'll just pay a little bit later on down the line, which gives you more time to save money. So the minimum that I have seen has been $1,500.
Okay, cool. So that sounds good. Now, that's wildly different from the places like LegalZoom or Rocket Lawyer and stuff online. So what is with them? It's only like, I don't know, 350 bucks and here you go. What's the catch
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, so one thing is that they're not lawyers. Second thing is that they're not going to do research. Well, actually, I've been seeing that they'll do a quick search, and if your name is like exactly the same as someone or really, really close to it, they'll let you know that they're not going to file it for you because it's too close. But for the most part, they're not going to give you the full research and then also the arguments that you may have to overcome those conflicting trademarks. I think they have a program where you can hire in a lawyer to do it. And I think they charge like 800, 600, or $800 for that. But most of the time, they're just contract lawyers. They don't really care. They're just going to file it, get your money, and go on to the next one. You're looking more of like a what do they call it? Like a mill house or something like that, where they just take on a bunch of things, but they don't really put in a lot of effort and energy into your trademark. So I say if you're going to use Zoom, if you're going to use Rocket Lawyer, just file it yourself, because they're literally going to take whatever you put in there, no matter if it's not right. No matter if it's not right, like you could literally write like I want my business to be a fairy tale or something like that. They will put that into the application. So if you're going to use them, just do it yourself.
Right.
I've seen it, okay?
Yeah, that actually sounds disastrous because the number of times I have typos, just like, banging something off. And if I misspelled like soap, what if I misspelled it? SPOA or something? And they just filed it. They just,
Yeah.
okay, there you go. That's your new trademark to Sapa and Clay. Yay.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's actually good to know. That's very interesting information that they don't have lawyers there. And I think it's probably another example of one of those things where if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And
Mhm.
these sorts of things seem to be very time consuming, very research and paperwork heavy, and also requires somebody that not only has a good grasp on legal acumen, but the ability to manage, to project manage, essentially,
Mhm.
to make sure that all of these
Mhm.
pieces work. And that's worth it for me because, I don't have any of those things. So I know how to make soap. That's basically it. But yes, this is good information for a small home-based business. Sadie, you're right. There's a lot of good information here and in Bree's channel, loads of information. Her Instagram and her YouTube both. She also does do the cultural stuff, which is fun. She had a video about Taylor Swift the other day. That was cool.
Yeah.
I liked that one. Now, Bree, is there anything that you would like small business owners to know from you? Something that's important and awesome.
I don't know. I don't know where to go with that question. I
It's
really
a big
am
question.
super serious about small business owners making sure that they protect their brand. And so if you have questions, you can reach out to someone, find someone. You might have to pay for a consultation, but if you don't know what you're doing, just, take that time, maybe save up a couple of dollars over the next few months to make sure you're speaking with an attorney, to make sure you're not doing anything wrong that can get you in trouble later on in life. So, with that being said, just take your legal. I know small businesses, a lot of us do it on like side hustles and things like that. But even if it's a side hustle, make sure you're taking it seriously. Um, in the event that you do make it big, or not even that you make it big, that someone finds you and thinks that you're infringing, and then now they're suing you, and all you thought it was a side hustle. So, yes, always take it serious. And if you don't know, get a consultation or something. A lot of times, sometimes people get consultations with me, and they don't necessarily want to hire a lawyer. They want to file their own trademark, and they'll book my consultation fee just to ask me questions to make sure they're on the right line. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you can do it to the best of your ability. And if something goes wrong, then it's more expensive to hire a lawyer to fix it, but that is an option as well.
Absolutely. And I have done consultations with attorneys many, many times in my life for, I mean, they charge by the 5 or 15 minute increments in some cases, and you get them to answer some questions. And that's very helpful as well. But to what you were saying earlier, you don't want to ever find yourself, going to the mattresses with someone like Kim K or Disney because Kim K decided to start a new brand that has the same name as your brand and now you can't use it anymore and that sucks as a small business. So protect yourself right away so you don't end up in that situation because that's not a good place to be. And I like that advice for sure. I actually, from a completely separate thing, Brie, we have someone in the chat asking for your favorite scent profiles and colors.
My favorite, which one?
Scents and colors because we're all about making soaps. And so I think somebody wants to design you a soap.
Oh, I'm not really good with scents, honestly.
Yeah.
So I really couldn't tell you that one, but I like purple and I like pink. My channel likes for me to like yellow. They like the sunflowers and things like that. So, but scents, I really couldn't answer that for you. I'm not like a perfume or like super, you know,
Yeah.
scenty person. I don't know how you explain that.
It's all good. We actually are in the soaping world. We are huge on scents all of the time. That's all we ever talk about, really. But purple, I love that. We've got Emily Baker hearts. Let's, all the purple things. I love purple, so
Mhm,
that's good.
mhm.
So, unless the Sudsers have any more questions for Miss Brie, we're gonna let her go. She recently got engaged, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm sure her
Yes.
fiance wants to spend some time with her on a Friday night of after a busy week.
Yeah, he's not here yet, but he'll be here shortly.
Yeah, well, that's congratulations on the engagement, by the way. That's a fun time in
Thank
life
you.
for sure. I've been married for, I don't know, a while. I think 11 or 12 years, I'm not sure. But it's definitely a fun time to do all of that, and that's amazing. So good. And I really do appreciate you being here with us and answering the Sudzer questions. And go ahead and drop your socials audibly. I will put everything in the descriptions and comments too, just to make sure that everybody knows exactly where to find you, because every single one of you Sudzers are going to go like her stuff right now. You get lots of information from Brie.
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Twitter. I believe those ones are all Boss Attorney Bree. You should be able to find me there. And then on Instagram, I think it's just Boss Attorney. You should be able to find me there. And I'm also on Facebook, but I don't go on there, so
Same, same. I'm never
yeah.
there. But yeah, no, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And the Sudzers are running through in the chat saying thank you, thank you, thank you, and telling you congratulations as well on the engagement. It's very exciting.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was fun. I feel like I haven't talked about trademarks this deep in a really long time. So thank you for inviting me and dealing with my crazy schedule.
No, mine too, for sure. Like we started talking about this, I think, at the last week of the Johnny Depp trial. So that's how long it's actually taken for us to finally be able to get in the same space at the same time. So I appreciate you being here. And I actually have a new deep dive coming up on the some very weird patents and trademarks with Lush. And so we may have some questions at the end of that. So we'll let you know. But
Okay.
I'm very glad that you were able to come and like hang out. But I will be in contact with you in DMs because shh, because we have to start the thing and get my brand actually finally registered and protected. And I think Mr. Webman and Mrs. Webman will be very happy about that because they've been telling me to do that for the last decade. And I'm like, ah, it's fine. Who would want my stuff? So
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
we're definitely going to do that. But I want you to be able to say goodbye and everything. And then I'm going to put them on a BRB and chat with you for a little bit before we leave. But I'll come back, Sudzers. But everybody say goodbye to Brie and tell her that she did awesome.
Bye. I can't see the chats, but
I
I'm
know.
happy to be here.
I know. I'm so happy that you're here too. But thanks, everyone. I will be right back. I'm going to put you guys on a BRB screen and I'm going to say goodbye to Brie off stream. So keep doing the things. Okay. I'll be right back. Let me put you guys on a BRB screen. I'm done. I'm back. You got it. I put audio output capture on this scene instead of audio input capture. And that's actually pretty dumb because audio output capture has the speaker, like as an icon, and audio input capture has a microphone as an icon. I'm not good at pictographs, I suppose. I'm better, right? I'm back. Oh, crap. I didn't do a gate on that. That might be weird. Hold on. Filter. I'm going to fix it. Hold on. Okay. Is the background noise gone now? Is that good? Did I do it? Did I do the thing? Did I fix a tech issue on the fly? I'm super, super impressed with myself. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's pretty cool. So, yeah, info on website for questions. D, Emily. Yes. So, yeah, go check out. I don't know that Brie actually mentioned her business, her law firm's name. And if I say it, I'm going to really mess it up. But she actually does pronounce it on her Instagram. It's very cool. But Ocala Law. So you can get that from the description for sure and go check it out. And she has her pricing schedule and everything on there as well, which is good. And you can check out her because she's not that $1,500 a person lawyer. Like she's not doing that. But you bought her trademark planner. Oh, good. That's awesome. And Shells, you actually just recently, yesterday, right? Yesterday or the day before, you actually filed for a trademark for your business name, right? Sadie, is there still no sound? Okay. There's sound. Yeah, see, Shells found it on the internet. We have sound. Okay, good. Good. Sadie, I don't know what's happening. Good. Excellent. But yeah, definitely check that out. She has good resources for people who want to do this on their own as well, like the trademark planner and all of that. So definitely go check out Brie and utilize her awesome resources. She's put a ton of work into, putting it all together and doing the thing. Yep, there you go. Yay, we have mods. They can do that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Kaylee. I appreciate you. Oh, last year you filed it. Now, I misunderstood what you said in the Discord then. I must have misunderstood because I thought you were saying that you just filed the other day, but you just got it. That's cool. I love that. That's very exciting. Yeah, no, guys, thanks for like being here for a lawyer talk because I think it's good information. We tend to forget this whole legal side of things quite a bit when we're just in the mix and making, and we like see somebody make Pokemon soaps, right? And don't think much of it, or Charmander soaps. And I mean, just because we see somebody else doing it doesn't mean that it's actually fine to do. Got to always look up those trademarks and see what's actually, owned. And just as a hint, everything Pokemon has been trademarked, all of it. So, got to change the names. But yeah, it's a very good information, and I am glad that you guys were able to come and do the thing. And it's been weird, actually, on a live, because we haven't done one of those in a minute. And I guess I just feel out of sorts because I'm here and I'm not in you know, the soap shop. So this is different. It's been a while since we've been here. So I hope I did a good job. I don't know. Yeah, Madhouse, JJ, for sure. That's one of the things. And like, yeah, you do for sure have some protections as she talked about. And so for those of you who didn't quite catch that part, came in late maybe, there are protections just by nature of filing your LLC, like a common law type thing, depending on states. And some states are like have more protections than others, from what I remember in one of her videos. But yeah, if you actually want to ensure that your ownership, that your brand is properly protected, the best thing that you can do is protect it. And so, register with the feds. Somebody also earlier in the chat was asking about what if a product in one country is trademarked but not here. That's fine. You can use that. Also, what if a business is named something in another country and you're named it here? That's also fine, as long as they're not trademarked. As long as they're not trademarked in both places, you can still use it. As an example of that, there is a Soap and Clay UK, and I have protections here in the States to a degree, but I obviously don't have a trademark, filed internationally. So Soap and Clay UK exists, and there's nothing really that I can do about it. So that's the thing. Well, thanks, JJ. I'm glad you think I did good. It's weird being here. It's super weird though that I did an interview with my freaking gamer headset on though, right? I feel strange. My other mic, it was a big moment. And then finding the earbuds, and it didn't work. And I've been busy making whipped sugar soap scrubs, actually. So many of them. So that's been fun. But yeah, exactly, D. The might as well go federal and be covered in all states for sure. It's a cheaper process to go state by state for a trademark, from what she said. But I mean, it's better to just go ahead and take care of it all nationwide so you don't have to worry about it. Canada doesn't participate in the Madrid Act. Yeah. So, Lori, I think the answer to that might lie in actually contacting an international trademark or just trademark attorney. But to my knowledge, if you are selling products to somewhere other than Canada, you're probably going to get in trouble. And something is named, something that's trademarked. You get it? I don't know. I would contact a trademark attorney actually for that one for sure. Uh, right. Exactly. That's the biggest thing of the LLC, Emily. You're exactly right. It protects you in case shit, your personal assets, in case something happens. LLC is a good idea for that. Brie actually has a good playlist about LLCs on her channel as well, though, and about when you should file an LLC and when it's not necessary. So feel free to go check that out. That would be excellent. Your name is in use in Canada and you guys don't follow. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, I would for sure get in contact with an attorney then, Lori, and see what you can do. Because I imagine there has to be some process regardless, right? It's not a freaking weird free-for-all. Like, what are one of the Canadian-based, like, businesses, like a coffee house or something? Can everybody just start calling themselves Canadian Starbucks? You know what I mean? Like an actual coffee. You get it. Because there are no protections? Because they don't follow the convention? I have questions. I don't know. I would for sure contact an attorney about that though, or check out the Canada laws. I don't know. I've never actually looked a whole lot into that, but it's a good question. LLC versus sole prop. Well, yeah. And the other one. What's the other one? Just, there's another one. I forgot. Whatever. Your soap is a DBA. Well, technically, my business is a DBA under my parent company as well. And it's registered in 3 states now. Both of them. The DBA and the actual parent company. Your full legal name of your soap business, M? Is that what you're talking about? If I use my full legal name, it'd be insanity? Your full legal name of your soap business? I seem to remember, and partnerships. There it is, Caitlin. Thank you. I seem to remember you sending me something at some point, right, M? And it's a really long name. You're not wrong. Or are you talking about your whole personal name? Either way. long in both, if I remember right. DBA is doing business as. So your LLC is one name and you are doing business under the umbrella of that big company for whatever reason. There are lots of reasons that you would do that, really. And then your DBA is, well, in my case, Soap and Clay. And my main parent company is not named Soap and Clay. It's named Cheeky Monkey. I don't know why I'm being like vague about it. It's easy to look up. It's Cheeky Monkey. And the reason we did it that way is because we already had that business, that LLC done. And so we just did some DBAs for Soap and Clay and other businesses. But, there it is. The full legal name of you. Yeah. Well, is it longer than what's in chat? And if it is not longer than what's in chat, I hope it's not, because that's a long name. Emily's taking off. Bye, Emily. I appreciate you for hanging out. For sure. I appreciate all of you for hanging out. It's been way too long since we've done this. And I know that sounds weird to say for a lot of you in chat because we talk every day in Discord. But for other of you, we don't because you're not there. So for those sudsers, it's been a long time since we've done this. But for the rest of you, go away. Let me have a night. Just kidding. You guys are awesome. I'm going to go back on Discord any minute, actually, and go hang out. Yeah, M's long and crazy legally me name. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a really, really long name, M. Yeah, you absolutely. Yeah, Holly's thing regarding like business filings and everything. One of the first things you should do if you decide to start selling and doing whatever, not only set up a business bank account, but make sure your PayPal is connected to your business account. So your EIN that you get from the government when you set up your business, not your personal account. Just separate all of those things. Everything that you get payment gateways and stuff for, not your personal name. Everything needs to run through your business. Got to protect yourself. And also, PayPal gets weird when you start bringing in business money on a personal account, apparently, and they hold your money for a long time. I've heard. I don't know. I've heard, though. But yeah, everybody that's leaving, goodbye. And actually, I'm going to leave too because it's been one hell of a week and I haven't been able to process it like at all. And it's Friday. So I am going to not do any work this evening and I'm going to go hang out with the family and watch a movie. I think there's a new Buzz Lightyear movie that we haven't seen yet. And just hang out and sort of decompress and figure out how I feel about this week tomorrow. I guess not tomorrow because my favorite niece's birthday is, wait, oh shit, it's her birthday party, but did I, oh, thank God. I didn't know the date. Her birthday and her birthday party are tomorrow. And so we get to go hang out with the cutest, most amazing niece on the planet tomorrow for her birthday and her birthday party. I was really scared that it was a day different than it was. So I'll get to do that tomorrow and then I'll figure out the rest. But yes, Miss A, create your business account through Square, through PayPal, anywhere that you could potentially be getting or sending money for your business. Link your business account to it. It's also easier for taxes at the end of the year too, because depending on how you do your taxes, you have your business stuff and your personal stuff. And so you just pull this. Makes it easier, I think. I don't do my taxes either. I hire people. And by people, I mean Mr. Soap and Clay. He does a good job. Oh my gosh, Kelsey, your son's 30th was today. Happy 30th birthday. That's amazing. I like the idea of going to a fire pit. It's way hot. It's way too hot to do a fire, actually. Although that never seems to stop us in normal circumstances. So we might do that anyway. What are you? Oh God, the movie. Okay, the movie. Got it. Miss A, I didn't connect movie first, actually. Oh, happy birthday. That's amazing. Happy belated. August babies, so many Leos in my life, and in my Sudser life. There's so many of you. It's wild. All this fire. It's just a lot. You guys are a lot and awesome. And between you, fire signs, and me, air sign, we could destroy the world. Really. It happens. Yeah, I know. You guys are all gonna start telling me how hot it is everywhere. In Michigan, it's cool. That's amazing. Yeah. I don't actually experience super hot times up here because Pacific Northwest doesn't actually get terribly hot, but feels feels hot. I do love you, Dee. I love all of you, all of my fiery, amazing humans that exist and are here, and I don't know why so often. But thank you for doing that and being that. That's cool. It's very cool. It really is very cool. Kelsey, you and Soap and Clay Kidlet number one are Scorpios. That's cool. She's definitely a water sign. She's very emotional, for sure. Oh, yeah, Vegas is hot all the time. All of the time. Yeah, it's global warming. It's for sure global warming. It's wild. Yes, Lori, thank you for everything. Good luck driving back to Los Angeles. And yeah, if you have any questions, I don't know if Brie can specifically answer them because Canada, but I don't know, reach out, see what she does for sure. Yeah, we're air signs, Em. We're, I don't know exactly where we fall. I was going to say we're grounding, we're the grounding force, but that would be Earth, wouldn't it? And I don't know very many Earths, actually. And I think I only have one Earth in my entire family, like extended family. It's very weird. No being squishy in the live stream. Yeah, I'll go to a Zoom with the Sudsers, with the Discord Sudsers, and be squishy there. We can do that. But yeah, for all of you guys who have been like super awesome and helping me through a weird week, I appreciate you for sure. And for all of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, it was just a stressful week. It was weird, but thank you for existing through it anyway, and being here for this because this was fun and awesome. And I have a feeling we're going to be talking to Brie a whole lot more about things moving forward. So that'll be fun as well. But thank you guys for joining me. And don't hold my headphones too terribly against me. I look ridiculous. Discord Zoom squishy. I think we should do a Zoom this Sunday. I actually shockingly don't have anything to do this Sunday. All of the birthdays have been wrapped up until December now. And then Mrs. Webman is next for the birthdays. Wait, no, that's wrong. Aowen's next. She's not in the chat anymore. It's okay. But yes, you guys, cool. Thank you. I'm actually going to end this. I don't remember how I do it, but I have a scene for it. So I'm going to send you to the ending scene and tell you thank you. And thank you for telling me I look adorable in my headset, Kaylee. It's very nice of you. And I will see you guys tomorrow for a video. It's actually a cool video. I make a soap out of it. I make teacups out of soaps, and it's not for a nailed it challenge. And it goes weird, but you'll see that tomorrow. But thank you guys for being here. Again, I already said that. I'm going to put you on the screen and I'm going to go. It's a weird day. Bye.